Farmers in New York State are using trail cameras to record illegal border crossers coming in from Canada. And on social media, brazen advertisements for human smuggling services reveal the scale of the challenge faced by Canadian law enforcement.
Today, Alberta's government is taking immediate action to crack down on illegal activities at our shared Alberta-US border, namely illegal migrants and the trafficking of drugs and guns. This suite of measures will curb illegal border activities and strengthen our nation's border security. Today, Alberta's government is taking immediate action to crack down on illegal activities at our shared Alberta-US border, namely illegal migrants and the trafficking of drugs and guns. This suite of measures will curb illegal border activities and strengthen our nation's border security. We're investing $29 million to create a new unit, the Interdiction Patrol Team, or IPT, under the command of the Alberta Sheriffs.
The border between Canada and the United States has seen increasing issues such as illegal drug trafficking, firearm smuggling, and human trafficking, all of which threaten the safety and well-being of communities on both sides. In response to these challenges, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith proposed a comprehensive border security plan. By addressing key gaps in border enforcement and resource allocation, Smith's plan aims to strengthen the provincial and national response to these ongoing issues. As we move forward, I'd like to ask you a quick favor to subscribe and like this video. It helps so much and it's completely free to you. Thank you. What has drawn attention, however, is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's decision to support Smith's plan. Despite their ideological and political differences, Trudeau acknowledged the urgency of improving border security and recognized the potential of Smith's approach. A significant highlight of Smith's plan is its emphasis on promoting collaboration between federal and provincial enforcement agencies. Recognizing that no single entity can manage border security alone, the strategy seeks to unite resources and expertise across multiple jurisdictions. One of the standout elements of the plan is the establishment of specialized fugitive apprehension teams. These teams are tasked with identifying and apprehending high-risk offenders who pose a significant threat to public safety. Their success has already been demonstrated, with reports of coordinated operations that led to the capture of hundreds of dangerous individuals in a matter of weeks. The plan also calls for upgrading patrol efforts, particularly in high-risk areas. This includes deploying sheriffs and peace officers to regions most vulnerable to cross-border criminal activity. To ensure these officers are prepared for the unique challenges of border security, Smith's strategy integrates advanced training programs. The training encompasses a wide range of competencies, including prohibition techniques and commercial vehicle inspections. Politically, Trudeau's decision to back Smith's plan seems like a calculated move. While it may appear to bridge an ideological divide, it also shows his willingness to prioritize practical solutions over party differences.
We'll deny safe haven to criminals looking to operate in both countries. And if we succeed and maintain proper border security, I expect we will have a very strong relationship with the United States, as we always have.
The successful implementation of Danielle Smith's Canada-US border plan depends on the seamless coordination of various law enforcement agencies. An important element of the strategy is the collaborative effort between the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, provincial sheriffs, and municipal police forces. This collaboration is intended to create a unified front in dealing with the complex security issues along the border, ensuring that the full spectrum of law enforcement resources is utilized. Also, financial investment and resource allocation from both the federal and provincial governments are important to ensure that proper funding is available to support the expansion and enhancement of border security measures. In previous operations over a 2-week period, fugitive apprehension teams consisting of RCMP, Edmonton Police Service, and sheriffs successfully apprehended some of the most dangerous criminals in the province. These apprehensions were instrumental in demonstrating the power of coordinated efforts between various agencies. By using these operations as a model, the plan aims to enhance future responses to border security threats, improving efficiency and maximizing resources. While the involvement of multiple law enforcement agencies is a strength of the plan, it also presents unique operational challenges, particularly in managing private land access for patrols. Many parts of the Canada-US border pass through privately owned land, and law enforcement agencies must ensure they have the proper permissions to patrol these areas. This can involve complex negotiations with landowners and requires a careful balance of respect for property rights with the necessity of securing the border. Justin Trudeau has committed to supporting the new initiatives proposed in Smith's plan through federal funding. This includes funding to improve the collaborative efforts between provincial sheriffs and federal law enforcement agencies. The provincial government, under Smith's leadership, has dedicated resources to hiring and training new officers, with a focus on increasing the presence of sheriffs in high-risk areas, particularly along the Canada-US border. Despite the broad support for the border plan, it has not been without criticism. Political opponents and privacy advocates have raised concerns about the potential overreach of the plan and its possible implications for individual rights. Critics argue that the increased deployment of provincial resources in federal border security operations could lead to unnecessary overlap and strain on provincial law enforcement. There are concerns about the financial burden this could impose on the provinces, especially if there is a significant diversion of resources away from other essential services. Additionally, privacy advocates are worried about the potential misuse of surveillance technologies and the erosion of personal freedoms. The expanded use of monitoring devices and other forms of surveillance could be seen as an infringement on the privacy rights of individuals, particularly in border areas that intersect with private property. In response to these concerns, both Trudeau and Smith have worked together to provide reassurances about the legality and effectiveness of the plan. Trudeau emphasized that the federal government remains committed to ensuring that all border security measures are implemented within the confines of Canadian law. He has reaffirmed that the collaborative approach between federal and provincial governments is essential for maintaining the safety of the Canadian public while respecting constitutional and privacy protections. Smith has also defended the plan, stressing that it is designed to address critical national security issues such as human trafficking, firearms smuggling, and the illegal drug trade.
Yeah, I mean, human trafficking is nothing that we're going to be doing an announcement tomorrow, just so that everybody know this as well. But this is why we have the Center to Combat Human Trafficking, right? I mean, this is something that is occurring. Are there people that are coming across the border, unfortunately, being used in some sort of, we'll say used and abused in some sort of negative way? Yeah, that is happening, right? And that's why we in Alberta are taking this so seriously. But we also have people that are being smuggled across from Canada into the United States, again, from a human trafficking perspective. And so all of this, in my opinion, as a former law enforcement officer, is outrageous. This is stuff that needs to stop. It's something that in a civilized society that we're not going to allow. And I got to thank the folks in alerts. I have to thank the folks in the sheriffs. I have to thank all of our folks in all of our policing services right now, because they're really doing the best they can. And that's why the Premier and I have been very clear that we're going to do whatever it takes to keep Albertans safe. And this is just another example.
Both leaders have assured the public that the plan will be executed with care, focusing on collaborative governance to address national concerns. They emphasize the importance of border security in safeguarding public safety and national interests, and have pledged to review and adjust the plan as necessary to ensure its effectiveness without overstepping legal boundaries or compromising individual rights. Trudeau's decision to publicly support Smith's border security plan has notable implications for his political standing in Canada. As the leader of the federal government, Trudeau's alignment with a provincial leader from the opposing party, particularly on such a high-stakes issue, may seem unusual given the traditionally adversarial nature of federal-provincial relations. However, this move has the potential to reflect well on Trudeau, as it demonstrates his willingness to prioritize national security and public safety over party politics. By supporting Smith's plan, Trudeau could also appeal to more centrist and conservative-leaning voters who are concerned about the state of border security and law enforcement. This decision could position him as a leader who is willing to put partisan differences aside in the interest of the country's well-being. On the other hand, his support for a plan associated with a provincial conservative leader may draw criticism from more left-leaning factions of his own party, especially those who are wary of the expansion of surveillance and law enforcement powers. While the plan itself has its share of criticisms and concerns, its potential benefits for Canada's border security and its alignment with U.S. law enforcement goals are clear. Now, how do you think this partnership between federal and provincial leaders will impact Canada's future security policies? Let us know in the comments.